Am I the asshole for losing my temper at my sister-in-law after she ruined the meal that I made? My sister-in-law Ashley is, for a lack of a nicer word, obnoxious. She constantly does whatever she wants, even when you ask her not to. She thinks she's right about everyone else, even when she's dead wrong. And she's just got this very stereotypical baby sister attitude where she acts like she can do whatever she wants and nobody is allowed to be mad at her because she's baby. Yes, that is something that she regularly says. My husband says that she's the youngest of their family, so her acting that way is normal. But I pointed out that I'm the youngest of my family and I've never acted that way. I don't like sister-in-law, but I've been polite and kept a peaceful relationship for my husband's sake. Until today. Today was the first time since 2019 that my husband or I have been able to see our small friend group in person. We all got our shots 2 months ago and decided to meet up finally for dinner. I cooked while our friends either pitched in ingredients, made appetizers, or brought wine. I made pasta ravioli by hand, which was hard. I made enough for me, Hubs, and our friends. But after they arrived and we all caught up while I was finishing the food, sister-in-law showed up. She let herself in and greeted everyone happily. They know her and said hi, but I subtly asked Hubs what she was doing here. Turns out, he had mentioned the gathering to her, and he guessed that she assumed that she was invited. I told him to tell her to leave, because she can't just invite herself in like this. He said that would be humiliating for her and asked if she could stay. I was annoyed, but agreed. Things were fine at the start. I had a few sips of wine to relax and was about to plate everyone's food at the kitchen island and bring it to them, but forgot parmesan, so I went to get it. I heard sister-in-law say that she'd help bring the food to the table. I said no thanks and to stay seated. My back was to her, and she said something that I missed because it allowed a clang of a pot hitting the floor. I heard everyone gasp, and I closed my eyes. I knew what happened, but didn't want to look. When I did, I just started crying. Hours of work splattered on the floor. Sister-in-law said that it was okay, it's just some pasta. I'll buy more. Our friends consoled me, and Hubs tried to say that I went too far, but our friends told him that he was an asshole and that sister-in-law was in the wrong. They helped clean, and we ordered pizza. But after they left, Hubs and I were flooded with calls from his family saying that I was a horrible, spoiled brat who made their baby cry over some stupid food. Now I'm just crying and feel like garbage. Did I go too far? I don't usually get so angry or curse. Am I the asshole? In the comments, here's what OP had to say. She's 31. He's closest in age to her and puts up with her stuff the least, especially after we got together. I think sometimes his family just wears him down. I don't usually flip out like that. I'm very level-headed, but seeing my hours of hard work dumped on the floor just broke me. God, it took so much time. Hand-making ravioli is... I don't have the word limit to include it, but this is not the first time that she's broken, damaged, etc. something because she refuses to listen to those around her. I don't know why she insists that she has to touch everything. Some days, I just want to scold her like my nieces and nephews. Look with your eyes, not your hands. Sigh. I don't understand why she has to take the whole pot to the table in the first place. I had plates set out to fill and serve to everyone at the island. All she had to do was stay seated for once. It was my first time making a pescatarian pasta dish because our friend Jenny doesn't eat any land meat. I was so proud about how they came out. The first 10 or so were kinda wonky, but I eventually got the hang of it and was so excited to have everyone try them. I was already annoyed that I was going to have to take one ravioli from everyone so sister-in-law could eat 2. Because while I'd made about 3 extra just in case, 1 or 2 fell apart or burned or whatever. It wasn't enough for a 7th person, but then she dropped the entire pot, and I swear, if I hadn't started crying, I'd have killed her. Unless she tuned out everyone around her the minute she sat at the table, then no. She knew the raviolis were handmade. It got brought up a couple of times. I'm surprised you didn't kill her, actually. I think she deserved to have her ass handed to her. She's 31 saying, "I'm baby." No, that's not okay. What's wrong with her? Oh, guys, come on. I only intentionally ruined the dinner, but you can't hate me. I'm baby. I am Buxy, you see. This is not the first time either. Like, I'm surprised she's even allowed over at your house anymore. She keeps disrespecting you so often. How has she not been banned from your house yet? How did you not tell her to just piss off? I know that that's maybe like harsh to say, but seriously, this has to be the wake-up call to be like, she's banned from the house. She's never coming here again, not after this shit. That was intentional. I don't care if it was an accident. I'm choosing to believe that that was intentional by her. 31-year-old child can't listen to instructions. Despicable. Maybe this is the wake-up call that your husband needs, because it sounds like he's too used to keeping the peace with this family, and he's blind to, like, how much that affects you. Genuinely, time to piss her off. She's gone. If this is my house, she's banned. Never again. And now, onto the update. Hub said that he understands that I'm upset that the food was wasted, but he doesn't think that my outburst was warranted and was actually kind of extreme. Tomorrow is his day off, and I told him that he's going to be making the dish like I did, by hand and on his own, and then at the end, we'll see if he thinks my outburst was unwarranted. Update 2. Welp. Hubs made pasta for the first time today, and it went much like I'd anticipated. He was all confidence and it'll be easy during the first 30 minutes. But towards the end of the first hour, that disappeared as the burn in his arms really set in from making enough dough for almost 60 ravioli. I did not lift a finger to help him knead, since I didn't get any help when I did it. After the dough was done and wrapped up in the fridge, he made the filling, which took another 40 or so minutes. And then the dough was brought out, and he had to start crafting the ravioli, all by hand after rolling the dough out. Lord, that went on for ages. Just rolling some dough out, cutting out squares, filling them and putting the top on, rinse and repeat until the dough and filling was all gone. All in all, the entire process from start to finish for him to cook his own took a little over 4 hours. And that's with us not actually cooking any of the ravioli. Also, he didn't make any sauce or cook any shrimp for the ravioli to be served in or with. And he didn't prepare any salad to go with it, and when I told him this, that there was still more to do, he almost started crying. He started saying sorry at the 1 hour mark and hasn't stopped apologizing since. We had a long talk about his sister and the dinner that she ruined. The other times that she's pulled similar incidents, there's a lot, and how him and his family always let her get away with it. He says he knows how they treat her isn't normal, and he doesn't like it, but was raised to just go with the flow regarding Ashley. But he said that he's going to call her and tell her that we need some space from her for now. Update 3. Hubs just got a message from his cousin of Ashley, laughing and bragging about intentionally spilling the pasta to teach me a lesson for being such a snobby bitch. Oh, fuck you, Ashley. A handful of you all thought that she did it on purpose, but I didn't actually think she did until hearing her admit it. I've never seen my husband this pissed off before. I don't know what's going to happen now. Update 4. Hi everyone. So much has happened since the pasta fiasco that I'd honestly completely forgotten about this account until this morning. When I logged on, I saw that I had a bunch of requests for an update, so here I am. I was going to post this in an edit on my original post, but it ended up being way too long. Someone said that I should post it in the comments, but they are locked, so I decided to just make my own post and put a link to it in the original Am I the Arsehole post, since I'm not sure how to do an official update post on the Am I the Arsehole sub. Sorry. So, for the update, like I said, A lot happened since then. I'll try to remember all of it, but be warned, I'm gonna put down everything as I remember it and try to make it in order. But it's been like 4 months, so I may not do it perfectly. Here goes. So, sister-in-law bragged to her and Hub's cousin Brenda that she ruined the dinner on purpose. Hubs went to confront his family. Sister-in-law denied everything until Hubs played the recording. Hubs banned sister-in-law from our house until she apologized to me sincerely and reimbursed us for all of the wasted food. Sister-in-law went ballistic, sobbing and throwing a massive tantrum until mother-in-law tried calming her down and scolding Hubs for choosing some floozy over your blood family. Oh, fuck off, mother-in-law. Hubs apparently flipped and called out his family on their weird babying of sister-in-law, saying that they'd made her into a spoiled monster. This just started a huge screaming match between all of them before Hubs said that he wasn't speaking to them for the foreseeable future before storming out. That's when he called me and told me to block all of his family, and before I could hang up, I started getting tons of texts and calls from all of them just saying the most hateful stuff to me. All of my socials, from my personal Insta to my work email, were bombarded with hate until I managed to block all of them. But it took weeks for them to all stop. The only person in Hub's family who wasn't harassing us were his paternal grandparents. His maternal grandmother, a few of his cousins on both sides, and his paternal aunts and uncles. Actually, I think all of the hate was from his maternal side, though not all of them. After blocking them all, things were peaceful until a few weeks later, our friend Kelly's car was vandalized really bad when she stayed at our house for the weekend. I'm talking the sides were keyed, all the tires were slashed, the windows were spray painted, and they even tore off the tag and shoved it down the driver's side door where the window slides down. We checked the doorbell cam, and it was sister-in-law and brother-in-law. It seems they mistook Kelly's car for mine. I lent my car to my mum since hers needs new tires, and I could use Hub's if needed, since both Kelly and my car are black. Needless to say, we called the cops and Kelly pressed charges on both of them. Thankfully, with the video evidence, she said she was able to make a no-fault claim against Ashley, who had insurance, and Kelly got her repairs paid for. Though barely. Sister-in-law and brother-in-law getting arrested caused a huge rift in Hub's family between those who don't think that it was necessary that they be arrested, most think that they should have just paid for the repairs out of pocket, and those who think that they got what was coming to them. Also, the arrest cost brother-in-law his job at a university. Hub's cousin Brenda, who's keeping us in the loop, told us that anyways, but we didn't look into it. Brenda also informed us that during the whole family drama thing, it was revealed that Ashley is only their half-sister. According to the maternal grandmother anyways. Seems that she verbally tore mother-in-law to pieces after mother-in-law insinuated that sister-in-law hadn't done anything to deserve this treatment. Brenda said that their grandmother said, "You felt bad that your husband didn't love her because he knew that she was just your shameful affair baby, so you loved her more than your other kids in some twisted effort to make up for it. And you pulled your other kids into doing it too, and all you did was succeed in spoiling her rotten." Brenda told us more, but that part is what really stuck in my mind. Honestly, hearing all of that was unbelievable for me. I had no idea this level of drama was buried in my husband's family. Then again, neither did he. And all of this snowballed from a ruined ravioli dinner. Hubs and I have decided to keep our distance from that part of his family for now. After handing Kelly a copy of the video of sister-in-law and brother-in-law tearing up her car, we more or less washed our hands of dealing with them all. And I've been way less stressed lately. Hubs too, that we've both noticed. So, not a terrible end. Not sure who will be seeing this update, but I'll be logging out of this account after a while since I think everything is mostly over. Thanks for reading, and extra thanks for everyone who sent me so many kind messages after my first post. It made me feel a lot better. In the comments, Suspended Accountant says, "Honestly, that sister-in-law is lucky that all OP did was cuss her out and started crying. In this economy now, 4 years later, somebody would have gone to prison for one thing or another. I never tire of reading when the husband tried to remake the ravioli dinner like, yeah, moron. It's a lot of work. You think we all wouldn't be making more of that kind of dinner if it wasn't so hard? He's lucky his wife didn't punch his sister out the second she did it. Here. This was not at all where I expected the story to go, and I'm surprised I have not seen this one before. 3,000 episodes of Reddit stories later, and I'm still discovering new stories. For me personally, I know a lot of you guys probably heard this one. But goddamn, what an escalation, huh? The whole family getting involved in this is just ridiculous. Are they that happy to die on this hill that they are just more than willing to throw OP to the wolves and be like, I am going to defend her no matter what. I don't care that you have solid video recording evidence of her admitting that she did this intentionally. How fucking dare you question our baby girl? She's baby. Don't you remember me saying and her saying that she's baby? How dare you, OP? Questioning her authority should be punishable by death. In fact, we're going to allow her and enable her and encourage her to key your fucking car, mate. You will rue the day. You're gonna rue the goddamn day you ever held her accountable for her actions. She's a 31-year-old child, you sick freak. Jesus, OP. That is a 31-year-old child. Give her a few more years for her frontal lobe to develop. Oh my god. Regardless, thanks for the story, OP. Wildly entertaining. I want you to come back with another update one day and tell us how you grand slammed her through a table. Until then, cheers. Our next post is by user ThrowRA and it's titled, My female 26, husband, male 27, is convinced my hair is going to kill our baby. It's causing so much anger and resentment, I'm worried for our relationship. So my husband is very protective of our daughter, which is great because she's only 4 months old and needs a lot of protection. But he is definitely a helicopter parent in the making. His current fixation is my hair. I have very fine hair. Before giving birth, it was down to my butt, but when our daughter was about 3 weeks old, I got it cut to just below my shoulders for convenience. For some reason, it falls out a lot, I think because it's so fine. It's not a medical thing and not a postpartum thing, because it's been like this for a long time. As far as I know, I can't do anything about it, short of shaving my head. But any suggestions are welcome. My husband is convinced that our baby will get some hair in her mouth and into her body, and then she'll need surgery to remove it, or it will kill her. Every day, he tells me to watch my hair around the baby. Every time I pick her up, he tells me to be careful with my hair. Every time I make her food, every time he sees a hair on my shirt, every time he finds a hair of mine, he complains. And when I say every time, I mean every time. Multiple times a day for 4 months. And it's not like I'm walking around dangling it in her face. It's tied back or at least slung behind my shoulder. He's also sure that I'm gonna bang her head on a door frame when I'm holding her and walking. So frequently tells me to be careful about that as well, but the hair thing is by far the most common and annoying. I've told him that I get it, I'm being careful, and to quit reminding me. He says that when it comes to the safety of our daughter, he will tell me every second of every day to keep her safe. I've tried telling him to quit. I've tried pointing out more broadly that we can't protect her from everything forever. We're just stuck in this endless loop of him getting frustrated about my hair and me getting frustrated about him telling me about it. We've had numerous arguments over this, and I just don't know where to go from here. In the comments, there's a reason why new mothers all walk about with shaved heads. Oh wait, they don't. His obsession is beyond normal parental concern. I agree with the other people in this thread. Speak to a doctor. Otherwise, a baby gets more mobile, then goes to school, yada yada. This is going to get worse. Before you know it, he won't let the baby ride a bike or go on school trips because they're too dangerous. Talk to your doctor. It sounds like he's having a hard time coping, and it's turning into anxiety, and in turn, he's gonna drive you nuts. Get your doctor's perspective on all of this. Because the reality is that babies are built for first-time parents. Most people have hair. And you've already told him and he doesn't want to hear it from you. So ask if you can talk to her doctor about it. And the true risks. If he doesn't want to, then you know it's his method of controlling anxiety. But really, why wouldn't he want to go? You'd be agreeing to find out how to keep the baby as safe as he wants, and best case, he's wrong and the baby is safe. Worst case, you are wrong and someone with authority tells you so, and then the baby becomes safer. But I expect that you'll be told that you are fine. It's normal to lose 100 hairs a day. I'm a stylist and have hundreds of clients. No one has ever killed their baby. I'm sorry, but your husband has become unreasonably obsessed. Tell him to ask his hairdresser and maybe talk to a pediatrician. His anxiety transfer to the baby is more dangerous in my opinion. This is incredibly exhausting, this has gone beyond the hair. He's using his anxiety as a control mechanism. For some reason, he's hyperfixating because the baby makes him anxious. And I guess micromanaging you gives him this false sense of control. But, these constant reminders won't do anything to make your daughter any safer. What is that logic? It just erodes your patience, and it's just starting fights that don't need to start. Surely he can realize that, right? I think you can acknowledge his fear while still drawing a hard line and be like, I know you're scared something could happen to her, but saying every day, your hair, it's making the house stressful. It's not making it any safer. You just say I've heard you, but you need to trust me to be careful because I am. Then go and suggest, seeing a pediatrician. Surely hearing from a doctor that loose hair isn't lethal, won't kill the baby, might calm his mind down. And if he can't let that go, maybe he's dealing with some postpartum. We don't talk about it much, but men definitely deal with postpartum anxiety, at least in this situation. That is very real. Get him some therapy, get him some counseling. He needs someone just with authority that can help him redirect that fear before it eats him. Because it's obvious that it's already eating away at him. How long until it just completely consumes him? And now, onto the updates. So my post got removed due to hitting the limits, but I wanted to provide a brief update because things definitely didn't go the way that I expected, but it did all work out for the best. My husband saw the post. He opened up the laptop to do something. He wasn't spying or anything. It's technically my laptop, but it's the only one in the house, so we frequently share it. The post was left open on the screen. At first I thought he didn't see it because he didn't say anything. Then the next morning, all hell broke loose. He was pretty angry, saying that the internet strangers do not care about our baby, so why would their advice be relevant? For the rest of the day, when I asked him a question, he said, "Go and ask your internet friends." After he calmed down, I did apologize for hurting his feelings, but emphasized that I was also upset by his unreasonable behavior. It took a day or so, but we're back to normal now. With one difference. He has finally stopped obsessing over my hair. I don't know if it was reading the comments on my previous post, or just realizing that I was so desperate about the situation, but he's finally stopped mentioning it all the time. I think he's done it maybe once or twice in the last couple of days. I can live with that. So yeah, for a second, I thought everything was going to shit. But maybe seeing the post was the best thing for him in the long run. I haven't yet approached the idea of him seeing a professional about postpartum anxiety. It's difficult right now with the pandemic, and I'm unsure how accepting of the idea he will be. I do plan to broach the issue with him, but I want to wait for the right moment to do so. So yeah, thank you all for the advice that you gave. In the comments, wow! I read that thing and it seems that he might have a serious mental disorder. He's scared of absolutely made-up, absurd things. What is PPA though? I couldn't find what it stands for. OP says, yeah, I mean postpartum anxiety, but just anxiety in general would also make sense. I actually have diagnosed PPD and PPA, stemming from previous mental health issues that I had before I got pregnant, so I'm generally pretty aware of mental health and potential issues. I'm concerned that he has anxiety surrounding our kid, but he's not at a stage where I'm seriously worried about his state of mind. He's not having panic attacks, engaging in dangerous behaviors, and our relationship still involves a lot of healthy communication. He still has contact with his friends and family, and still eats and sleeps healthily. I'm keeping an eye on his anxiety and do plan on bringing it up. But it's a sensitive issue. Partly due to the culture, he doesn't come from a country which has great mental health support. So I want to plan how I approach it well. Another commenter says, I know you're looking at this as a win, but is it really? In the end, he got angry and was very immature. Go ask your internet friends, etc. when you tried to get third-party help. You apologized to him, and he never apologized back. OP replies, I would view it as a win because I know my husband and our relationship well. I don't expect us to never get angry at each other, and I don't even expect us to never yell, although we both try and avoid yelling on the rare occasions that we get into bad fights that we have yelled. Sometimes we get angry, like everyone, and we lash out. That's not to say that we fight all the time or anything, but I think it's unrealistic to expect that you will never fight with a partner. The important thing for me is coming back together after the fight and discussing, apologizing where necessary, and moving on. We appreciate the issue often isn't solved through one conversation, but we commit to approaching it calmly in the future, which is why I plan to still approach him about his anxiety. But I'm going to choose a time and place where the conversation will be productive instead of defensive. OP responds to a comment regarding overprotective fathers being obsessive over their daughter's decisions and lifestyles. I would never let him do that, and I'm sorry that you were treated that way. I was very lucky in being given the right balance of independence and protection growing up, and I've been very self-sufficient from a young age. I don't know about your dad's upbringing, but a lot of my husband's issues stem from having the opposite experience growing up. He had one parent dead, the other working 3 jobs. Living with his grandparents, pretty much ignored by his older aunts and uncles. He never had someone to protect him, and he wants to give our daughter that advantage that he never had. But obviously, he's going in the wrong direction. Another commenter asks, do you do ponytails at all, or a loose bun, or hairband? That could be a good compromise maybe. OP says, I do tie my hair back as much as possible, but it doesn't really do my hair much good. Honestly, I'm shit at hair care and that stuff, so it'd probably be better if I invested more into it, which I very well might do. And OP on her husband having emotions and being verbally abusive. He didn't scream at me. I realize saying all hell broke loose might not have been the best phrase, but he's not a screamer and has never screamed at me. Do you mean psychotic or psychiatric? Because they are 2 very, very different things, and my husband has definitely not shown any signs of being psychotic. All in all, this turned out a lot better than I expected actually. It's not perfect, but it is progress. I hope that reading that post was a kind of forced reality check for him. It seems like he's drawn back his anxiety about it and is kind of bottling it all up. So I guess, yeah, there is some potential there, but I think you need to kind of force him to go get some help. Hopefully something has finally sunk in and helped him relax a little bit about your hair though. I don't think right now is the time to bring it up. Maybe when he calms down a bit more, gently bring up the anxiety side of it. Frame it in like a way that you want both of you to have space to decompress as like new parents, not just needing help. We don't want to frame it in a way that like he feels like he's being blamed for this. It's more like, I need you to be on my team. He's clearly a very loving dad. He's had a hard start in life. It's understandable why he's acting this way, but we need to stop channeling that fear into control and anxiety. It's not going to do anyone any good. Hopefully, if he starts addressing that pattern of behavior now, this can be saved and he won't become a Karen helicopter parent like we see too often. Thank you for the story and thank you for the update, OP. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.